5 underpaid NBA players of the 2018-2019 season. My name is Josh, your Envyerz. Let's start off first talking about the guy on the thumbnail, DeMarcus Cousins, who everyone said ruined the NBA by joining the Golden State Warriors, even though if the NBA was apparently already ruined when KD joined the Warriors. So apparently DeMarcus Cousins made the league worse somehow. He signed with the already stacked Golden State Warriors squad for $5 million for 1 year. There was even a video where a Cavs fan, or I'm not sure if it was a Cavs fan, but it was some dude in a Cavs jersey screaming at DeMarcus Cousins and DeMarcus just laughing at him. That's essentially NBA Twitter and the NBA community saying, DeMarcus Cousins, you ruined the NBA. And Cousins just looking at it laughing. Either way, DeMarcus Cousins had a major injury. He tore his Achilles, and apparently no other team really wanted to offer him money. So he went with what he got and called up the Warriors and said, can I play for you? I'll sign for the low. I don't understand how people could actually be mad at that, but I guess they find a way to be mad about something. Last year with the Pelicans, before the injury, obviously, I felt like he was the best player on that team. Obviously, when he did go down with injury, the Pelicans seemed to have got better, and they made a run into the second round of the playoffs by sweeping the Portland Trail Blazers that year. Nobody knows how well DeMarcus Cousins is going to come back from that Achilles injury, but hopefully he comes back better than ever, and Golden State definitely got to steal with DeMarcus Cousins, because when it comes playoff time, it's going to be scary and hopefully fun to watch. Next, let's talk about another all-star that didn't seem to get any offers around the league and unfortunately didn't get his Brinks trucks, Isaiah Thomas, and former Sacramento Kings teammate to DeMarcus Cousins. Unlike DeMarcus Cousins, he signed a $2 million contract this offseason to play with then former coach Mike Malone of the Sacramento Kings, now with the Denver Nuggets. I feel like it's a good fit for Isaiah Thomas, and the Denver Nuggets are only going to get scarier and scarier as the time progresses, not to mention Michael Porter Jr. if he comes back healthy and can pull a Ben Simmons next season. By now everyone knows the story of Isaiah Thomas and how he had a career year with the Celtics and then gets traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Kyrie Irving. It was a kind of a good way to destroy the Cavs from the inside. Apparently his hip was an issue all last season, and it seems to have still been an issue this upcoming season while he's recovering from that. But just like I hope DeMarcus Cousins is able to return to his full strength and capability on the court, hope the same thing for Isaiah Thomas. You hate to see guys go down with injury and then not be able to perform as they once did. Although I personally feel he didn't deserve the Brinks trucks he was asking for, he deserves to be paid more than $2 million a year. Next, let's talk about another small guard, Lou Williams, who signed with the Los Angeles Clippers this offseason for 3 years, $8 million. But something weird about his contract is it's $8 million for 2 years, and in the last year it's only $1 million. I don't know if it's the website I'm using that's wrong about that, but he is 32, so it makes sense. By the time his contract's up, he'll be 34 years old, and a player of his caliber and size, and he's not the most athletic player out there, but how long can this immense scoring power that Lou Will brings to the team keep up? We'll have to see. I mean, just last season he had the best year and could have possibly been an all-star last season. So it's kind of crazy to think that having your best season only amounts to you getting $8 million for 2 years and then the last year $1 million. That doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like he deserves more. And right now he's proving that he is worth more. He knows his role. He's a sixth man coming off the bench, and the Clippers are winning right now. Let's see how long they can keep it up, though. Moving on, let's talk about Brook Lopez. Signed with the Milwaukee Bucks this offseason for $3 million for 1 year. I remember Laker fans last season saying, Brook Lopez is awful. And I feel like I even said that. You know, Isaiah Thomas, I believe, was out rebounding. I even made a video. Isaiah Thomas was out rebounding Brook Lopez, who's like 7 foot tall at least. Although he's not playing up to his Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey Nets days, averaging 20 plus per game for seasons, he was on an awful team a lot of his career. So now when he's actually on a good team like the Milwaukee Bucks, he's shooting a career high 3-point percentage, got the nickname Splash Mountain, and is helping the Bucks tremendously because this is the best Bucks spacing team that they've had in all of Giannis's time there so far. So although it seemed like he had a massive drop-off with the Lakers, maybe it just wasn't the right fit for him, because right now he's just raining buckets from the three-point line. It's good to see because, like I said, I made a whole video on players that fell off last season, and he was one of them. So I might have to make a new one talking about players that revitalize their careers in a season. He might be there. Last but not least, let's talk about Reggie Bullock. No one's talking about this guy. No one's talking about the Pistons because there's the Pistons and they've been mediocre for quite some time. But the arrival of Dwayne Casey and the firing of Stan Van Gundy, the acquisition of Blake Griffin, it's all been clicking so far for the Pistons. Reggie Bullock's time in the NBA has been a pretty successful one for a shaky start to his career, because around the time he was drafted, 2012, 2013, is when the Clippers just were drafting guys that didn't bring any impact to their team whatsoever. Guys they kept on their roster for a year or two and then were out of the league the next. Guys like CJ Wilcox, Bryce Johnson. And Reggie Bullock was almost on the path of those said NBA players. So last season with the Pistons, he got inserted into that starting role and was their best three-point shooter on the court. And this year, if he continues up the great work that he's done last season, averaging around 11 points per game, spacing the floor, a 3-and-D type player, he's looking to have a pretty decent contract this coming offseason. So only making $2.5 million for the past few years, which is a lot. In NBA player terms, though, it's not that much. I feel like this is the player Stanley Johnson should have become, but a way more athletic version. He hasn't yet, so it's going to be interesting to see if the Pistons decide to pay him or another team strips him away from the team. Either way, super underrated player and underpaid as well. With that being said, those are my 5 most underpaid NBA players this season. I didn't include guys like Kemba Walker or any other guys on a contract before the CBA started to rise. But let me know your 5 in the comment section below. Share the video around, click on some of these on screen. Thank you for watching. Talk to you in the next one.